Hi my friends, namaste and welcome back to another painting session with me. Today we're gonna do a pretty big, seascape painting. So we start basically with the color of the background of the sky, more or less. Then we have this canvas here. Size is 50 by 100 centimeters. And we basically do the background color first. The background color of the sky without any clouds to it. In this case, the color on the left side gets a bit lighter due to the sunlight or the sun that we have on the left side. Therefore, we have to, basically the only really difficult thing here is to lighten the left side up and melt this lighter color into the existing bit darker color on the right side. And as you can see, I basically use a smaller brush first to apply the color. If you like to see this video here in a full-time version on my Patreon, check out this link here. Over 8 hours of in-detail painting. And then I go back, have a look, and it looks terrible, as you can see here. Then I grab a bigger brush, my smaller blender brush, and start to work the color from left to right. Basically so that we have a very nice transition. Don't forget to wipe out the brush from time to time so that the color is not interfering. And to give it this little extra something, I grab an even larger brush and start to kind of fine blend. In this case, it would have been better to have an even larger brush, but it did work out. Still pretty nice. Again, cleaning the brush every now and then to really make sure I don't grab too much color that I don't need in those areas here. Then I start to mix the color for the underpainting on the lower end, the water and the beach. And the water consists just of basically two colors. This more bluish one and the far back, and this a bit more greenish one in the front part. It's applied very thick so that we don't have any white showing through, and very even so that we don't have any color lifting off to interfere with the next layer. So really make sure that the structure of the canvas is covered completely with those colors. And I add this grayish bluish color for the very thin water parts. And then I let the whole painting dry for a couple of days. And then I start to establish basically the shape of the clouds that we're gonna paint next. For the clouds, I'm using very fine, soft brushes. Rounds, flats, and those cat tongue brushes. You've seen that I mixed some colors for the clouds. And now this is completely weird because the colors are they appear very dark, very bluish, very not that whitish. And this is one of the keys to painting realistic clouds, that you don't think clouds are white all over the place. They have different colors, darker bluish tones, grayish tones. We even have some raw sienna into it to get some brownish tones again, and some grayish and so on. This is needed to make a cloud really look realistic. The next thing is that we use the dry brush technique again. This is a technique that I prefer when it comes to painting clouds. You stay better in control over the color that you apply and the location of it. Here, now we basically put in those bodies of the clouds. Then I go back and lighten up some areas that need to be a bit lighter, that need to kind of have a bit more volume to it. And here see me, kind of accessing this dry brush technique. I'm using just a hint of color on the brush to darken down the areas where we have the smaller clouds that are more in the back. This is a very, very important thing to notice, that we also have to get in the 3D effect, and therefore the clouds in the foreground are larger and those in the back are a bit smaller. And getting even smaller the more you step to the horizon line. An example of how I build up the volume, those clouds in the foreground. And I also lighten up those areas that are on the left side where the sun basically stands on top. It's not visible in this painting here, but you have to lighten up even those areas down below here. By just dry brushing on a thin layer of color. The color is not thinned down. It's just a kind of a thick layer of color, a thick color that I'm using, that I'm rubbing into the structure of the canvas, more or less. And then I'm mixing the next layers of color, the next colors for the next layer on the water. And we're basically using all kinds of brushes, smaller ones, bigger ones, rounds, flats to get in those wave details. First with a darker color, using some linseed oil to thin down the color even more. And these colors here, I'm thinning down the colors quite a lot to get kind of a glaze, to use the background color still for the for the next layers that we build up, kind of. And the lighter colors I'm using for kind of modeling the wave bodies. You can see here, it's when you got this principle, then it's very easy to really start to build up waves that look realistic. And on the left side, we have again the lighter area, where the waves have to be just a bit lighter. And I'm even adding some darker colors here and there to emphasize the wave bodies more or less. Now we start to build up those detailed parts of the waves in the front. And I'm using this kind of a grayish, brownish color to make the waves kind of very thin, to kind of let them appear to be able to look through them. And this is simply done by adding this lighter color. You basically, the thinner the water gets, the more we see the color of the pure water itself. And the water here is kind of a bit of a greenish, brownish color, and this is just applied, and then this mountain or this pile of water starts to look realistic, like a thin breaking wave. And then we start to build up the foam whitewater parts. And this might look a bit wrong now, but the water really is in the shadow areas very bluish, very darkish, because it takes on the color of the sky, more or less. And so we have a very strong contrast between the lighter areas on top of the foam and the water, splashing water wave parts, and the areas where we have the bluish, purplish bluish color of the water in those shadow areas. Very important part, the connection of the white water of the foam parts that are in the sunlight, and on the back we have those foam parts that are in the shadow areas. And this is something you need to connect really, and you need to know what you do to make it look realistic. And with this simple, I mean, it's not a trick, it's kind of you have to paint it this way to make it look realistic. You basically achieve a very, the look that we want to have here on this painting, this sunlight coming in, this bluish area in those shadow areas, and all this makes it look realistic. Now we starting to build up those broken waves in the foreground. Lots of whitewater parts here and there. Getting a bit more painterly on this side here, as this wave basically died. It crumbled and it's now just a pile of bit of water and foam. And I think one of the most important parts here is the shadow in the front parts of those foam areas that we have on the water here. Therefore, I established those dark areas first to really establish the borderline between the wave, the broken wave, the foam parts, and those beach areas. I'm adding some darker color again in the dry brush technique on the beach areas to make the sand here appear even more wet, freshly covered with water. And then I go back and add some more, even darker tones here and there. We finally have some very strong light coming in. And this needs to be reflected basically by adding some very dark shadows here and there. And of course, we also need and want to have some very fine details here and there, very dotty, very liney approach of building up some even smaller foam parts here and there to break up the whole thing, to make it even more detailed, even more realistic, and to get even more realistic, we just start to add on those edges here where the sun basically hits in some even lighter colors. It's not a pure titanium white, but it's very close. And then we add some rocks here and there. First the lighter color, and then I build up those shadows behind those little rock bits, sand bits here and there, and the larger ones we even have some shadows that are cast on the beach itself. Again, very fine ones here and there, adding some spots and dots here and there. Just adding some details. That's the finished painting. That's about it for today. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, that like button, and see you next time. Bye.